Welcome back to the Fundamentals Podcast, where we talk all things related to sports from a fan's perspective. What's going down?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Not much, man. I was down, man. I look. We're late. We're late this week. I was down. I was sick. I didn't even enjoy any Thanksgiving. I didn't watch any Thanksgiving games. I didn't watch any TV at all on Thanksgiving. None. No
Well, you
sports.
was
No. None of the football. None.
yeah.
I
When
was
I
out.
hit you up, you said you was asleep pretty much the whole day and the day before.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
down. I was down bad. Did you watch on Thanksgiving at all?
Mhm. I watched the I saw the Cowboys Giants game, and I watched the night game. Who was that?
I don't even couldn't even tell. Didn't Washington? Did Washington play? No, they who
I
played?
think they. Hold on. Let me look at the Thanksgiving thing. 'Cause I know the Giants. I've
I
seen the
know
New
the
York
Giants and
Giants
the
and
Cowboys. And
the
speaking of
Cowboys
that,
played.
Micah Parsons acting like they finna go on some run. Like, come on, guy, y'all beat the Giants, man.
Bruh.
Y'all beat the
Like
Giants. Chill out.
like like really?
Yeah,
Like really? I mean, I feel you. You know what I'm saying, with the confidence in your team and your group and all that. All that jazz right there, bro. Yeah, you're supposed to, but it, y'all are a long
yeah.
shot for the playoffs at this point, bro. Like
Long shot.
literally, there's really almost no hope for the playoffs for them. Like,
Yeah, none.
you know the kind of run they got to go on, and for other teams that are in the wild card race to fall
Like
out.
out, yeah, exactly. Like it's yeah. Like I get
Like,
it, Michael Parsons. You want to be hyped now, man. You should have been hyped earlier this year. You should have been hyped to come back to play from that injury.
hmm,
That's what you should have been hyped when y'all was getting blowed out by Baltimore, and when y'all was getting blowed out by Detroit, and when y'all was getting you know
hmm,
when Green Bay was giving y'all the business. That's when you should have been hyped.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. You
all
should have been
all
trying to,
that
yeah.
all that
Now
happiness
he,
after beating the Giants. I
I
you
mean,
ain't saying nothing, man.
they got a decent win against Washington, but they almost blew that. But a couple of
Yeah,
weeks back. But
yeah.
at this point, man, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
come on,
Like
man. You
let's
got to
shut
go
it
on a
down.
heck of a run, and
Hmm.
everybody else gotta literally lose out for
Right.
them to get in. Like, for
Yeah.
real. Even me, being a 49er fan,
Are y-
our
y'all
best
got
hope is to
y'all
win
got
the
some hope?
division. Our best hope is to win the division
That ain't happening.
to get in.
That ain't happening.
I mean,
And
it's always a possibility. I
it is a
mean,
very
if
slim
we
possibility, but
clean sweep the rest of the year, that means we got to beat y'all. We got to beat Arizona, and then hope that everybody else beats themselves, and
bro,
and then hope that whoever's in the top, which is Seattle right
y'all got
now,
too much
that
to
they
battle
just
back
go on a
from.
cold. They just on a cold look, look, Big Will. This is not an opportunity for you
y'all
to, you know what I'm saying? This ain't an
listen.
opportunity for you to bring out your Rams, you know what I'm saying, and start, trying to douse my dreams. You know what I'm saying? And this is not an opportunity. You doing too
I'm
much.
I'm asking
Not
you
too
to be
much.
realistic. I'm
Not too
asking you to
much.
be realistic.
I didn't say we was going to the playoffs. I said in order for us to get there, we would have to. And with the way that our division is, still only 2 games that separates anybody. Like, y'all are a game behind. We're like 2 games behind. That's how our division is going right
Is
now.
is you brought up since you brought the 49ers up, we're not going to talk about all the injuries. Everybody in the league knows about all the
Look,
injuries.
we already
Uh
know what's going on there.
we know what's going on with them. Trent Williams, I feel bad for him.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's a sad
That's
situation.
terrible.
That's sad. That's terrible, man.
Mm.
Yeah, that's terrible. With Christian McCaffrey, um,
He's probably gone for the year
he's
again.
gone for the year. Mason's out. Uh, is Brock Purdy coming back next game? I mean,
I didn't see him on the injury report,
okay, so he'll be
so
playing
he'll
next
be
game,
playing.
but
We
it's
still
just
got
it's
Debo. We still got Kittles. It's the defense that I'm kind of
but
really looking at
but
as a big problem as
you
well.
brought up Debo. Let's look at Debo's numbers the last few
We're
weeks.
not looking at his
He's
numbers
not
though, because
he's not being productive.
last week was definitely an abomination for everything. So I can't even put that in perspective. Nobody was doing
But
anything besides the running back.
but prior to that week, Debo was
It
not
doesn't look. It's about being on the field to be a possible threat. Possible. He's
okay.
known to do some things, you
Hey,
know what I'm saying? He's known for doing
hey,
some things, but it's always a
okay.
possible
All right.
time that he might have a game to where he get off a
I
little bit.
digress.
And then I know we still got Jennings out there, you know what I'm saying? I like Jennings.
I like Jennings
I
too.
still like some of our offense. It's not just the fact that it's just if you watch our season, just watch the season that we play. We've been very first half, most of the time, we've been very good at getting the ball all the way down. We just, for whatever reason this year, we can't punch that mug into the end zone.
End zone.
But we could easily march down the field. We've been doing it. We march down the field, and then we're either going to kick a field goal, and at least 6 out of 10 times, we might make it. Because that kicker is just looking like, kickers this year is looking really scarce and weird this year, but our
Kickers in
kicker's really
general,
just been,
all over the league.
it's crazy work. Crazy work. But, like, I look at our team and I'm like, bro, if we was able to clean up half of the junk that we do in the second half and play like we did in the first half, we would have been good all season long. We lost literally to 3 games off the top of my head. We actually lost from the beginning to the end. Minnesota, Buffalo,
Yeah.
and Kansas City. And technically, Kansas City really didn't. We could have beat Kansas City. We turned the ball over again in scoring positions. That's been our problem. So it's just like, and that's been without Christian McCaffrey for most of the year.
Yeah.
So, and it's just like, and we weren't doing it with people like Debo. We weren't doing it, of course, we definitely wasn't doing it with Ayuk. It's been Kittle, it's been Jennings, and whoever steps up as a running back. We lost against y'all in the last moments of a game because we can't, for whatever reason, it's a defense that really irks the heck out of me this year. Play good first halves, terrible second halves.
I would say
that's how it's been all year.
Been the most consistent thing for y'all this year.
He has.
I would say
he has. Mason would have been, but they stopped giving him the ball.
Exactly. Now let me ask you this: does Brock Purdy deserve a max contract? Do you have to see one more year? Does he deserve a contract right now after this season? Do you give him a contract?
Yeah. Because I'm not basing it off of. Yeah, think about it. I'm not basing it off of just this season. Because this season has been a bad season all over. I mean, look at it. We're down a player every week. Somebody goes down. If one person comes back, 2 people go down. One person come back, 2 people go out. So it's like, what do you want to do? What can you do? You got to try to make sure that everybody else, when he hasn't worked with receivers like, this has been his worst year. You know what I'm saying?
So let me.
I would give him a contract still because last year he did good. The year before that he did good.
Let me throw this at you then. All right, you say the injuries every week. There's issue with the injuries all around. Everything's going on, right?
Heck, we even lost 2 kickers this year.
So let me ask you this: Patrick Mahomes battled the same thing and still found a way to win. Brock Purdy.
Well, you can't put them in the same category of that though. This is the reason why I say that is because let's just be honest. Kansas City done slid by with some real lucky games. Let's just get real. A PI against the Bengals that they normally wouldn't call, but they decided to call that one. Then the following week against the Falcons, they didn't call the PI in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Then they went, a toe, a different size shoe. It would have been an overtime game for them to possibly lose that one. They almost lost to Carolina. They almost got beat by Carolina. They almost got beat last week on the Raiders thing, which I thought was some BS too. Kind of weird. They almost lost to, who was it again? Was it Chicago that they beat, but the block field goal?
Yeah.
Think about it. Is this Mahomes?
Or was that Denver? I think that was Denver.
It was Denver.
Yeah, it was Denver.
But think about it. Think about it. Is Mahomes winning it? Let's be real.
Keeps him alive because there's been a couple. And as much as I dislike Mahomes, as much as I dislike
there's been a couple of them. You go right.
Two of those where Mahomes drove them down the field. What it seems to be.
You are actually correct.
What I'm seeing with Brock Purdy. This is why I don't give him a contract. What I'm seeing with Purdy is in these close games, when he has to make it happen, he needs all these things around him to make it happen. And he cannot do it by himself. Now, does that take anything away from what he did last year? No, absolutely not. But I don't believe in giving him that contract after the season.
Let me give you a pushback on some of that though. You say that he needs all these things to happen in order for him to kind of win. That one game where he went down there and the kicker finally made a field goal to win the game for us. He drove it downfield for us. A lot of times he's actually putting us in position to score. Now he's then had some botches, but if you put him in the category of he's had to have everything else to try to almost help him, you got to say the same thing for Mahomes, because Mahomes got bailed out by his defense quite a bit this year. Defense has won games for them, not Mahomes. Mahomes ain't been the reason why they just been winning games. They had like a couple of drives where Mahomes got them in field goal range and they won. Like bad management from Carolina, they could have won that one. A blocked field goal, that's not Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? That PI penalty, that ain't Mahomes. The other PI penalty against the Falcons that they didn't call, that ain't Mahomes. These are things that's what they're talking about. The luck that they are getting. The Raiders was about to win without even being on the field. So it's just like a possibility of winning. Of course, they didn't win because they fumbled. They oddly, the clock stopped, and for whatever reason, the center just decides to snap the ball. But might have been miscommunication out there, whatever. But I'm not giving Mahomes. As much as I want to say Mahomes, yes, Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm not giving him all these things because I've seen Mahomes play. He's been playing his worst season since he's been in the league.
I agree, but he's kept them alive. I feel like he's kept them afloat.
Purdy kept us alive. Half the games we lost has been defense.
Yeah.
Be honest. Our losses have been defense. It ain't been offense that just always lose the game. Offense has put us ahead, and then the defense, I don't know what they do in the second half, but they don't do anything. And yes, our offense has always struggled in the red zone all year long. We have weird turnovers in the red zone, or we can't make a field goal. So it's just like, I'm not putting it on Purdy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put him on that. He's actually been he's been solid. He ain't been good like he has been the past years, but that doesn't mean he can't get a contract from me because this year has been an anomaly from the other seasons. All the other seasons, they've been relatively healthy. This year, he's been injured. Everybody's been banged up. So, I mean, you can't even have your regular team on the field. With Mahomes,
they give him a contract.
I mean, why not? Why not pay him?
I say wait one more year.
He's done went to he's done got us to NFC championship game, first year, rookie year. Mm-hmm. He's done got us to a Super Bowl. And this has been the worst season that they had. Why not? Why not give him a contract when he's already shown that he can get you there? Now, when you have a season to where it's bad, it would be a different story if he was bad,
I want to see
bad,
the bounce
and
back.
then this year he was. If he was bad, bad, this year he was good, and then they throw him a contract like how 90% of these contracts be given. One person has
That's
one
true.
good season, and they
That's
give him a
true. That's
contract,
true.
and
That's true.
then the dude has a bad year or a down year with all these other things that's been going on
Going
around this
on.
whole entire team.
Yeah.
Then you say he don't get a contract. It's kind of hard to
I,
really just say that after he done, he's going against the elements now. And
right.
yeah, we ain't looking good. One game he wasn't even in playing, so we lost that game. That was against Green Bay. So we don't even know what he could have done in that game. So it's just like, I'll give him a contract. For one, we need a quarterback. Who else we going to give him? I mean, he's coming off a rookie deal. I'd give him a contract. You might as well try to lock him up as early as you can. That way you could try to free away the space for later on down the road when you have to sign people like Kittle again, or defensive players or whatever, or sign new people. So it's just like, for him, I would give him that contract just for the simple fact that he's already proven things. We had an anomaly of year, and the year ain't even over yet. We might end up with at least a winning season out of him. Who knows? But I'm not on that train of we gonna be going to the playoffs. I ain't no cowboy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
I
I'm
like your
realistically, I don't think we're going to go. But I'm just saying, is the door and the window shut just based upon our division? When you look at the Cowboys and their division, Philly,
that's
they
that's
running away
correct.
with it. And
Yeah.
then
And
you
I
got
believe Washington.
Washington is
Yeah.
still, they got a winning record. And then you look at the NFC North, you got three teams there.
Right.
Then you got the NFC South, they got a team there. So NFC West, you're only gonna get one team in there. West and the South probably gonna put in one team. I
Yeah.
see the North can put in three. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Realistically.
what already. That's already your six. Technically, that's gonna be your
Yeah.
six. So you
Yeah.
got the four division winners, and then I put Washington because I think they're gonna go, and then somebody else from the NFC North. It could be Washington might go, but then again, two teams from the NFC North might go. You
Go.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
That's true. Very, very
So
valid.
with our division, it's pretty much you either win it and you in it, or if you don't,
Or
you going home.
you go home. Yeah. I like your argument for Purdy. But I had to ask. It's a topic, and I listening. I do like your argument for Purdy. Like you said, you have to look at, all right. If we don't lock him up now, I mean, what else? What else are we gonna do? If we lock him up
Mm-hmm.
now, you know, uh, for the future, then we could go ahead and focus money on, allocate it to other things.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, you brought up he had two successful seasons prior to this debacle, so he has showed you that he could win. Now, I am of the logic of I want to see you bounce back, but again, like I said, I like your argument that what else are we gonna do? Like, let's go ahead and lock him up now. So I'm with you on
Yeah.
that. That's a very fair argument. Um, Now, I I watched the game last night, the Detroit and Green Bay game, and we talked about the NFC North. I
Mm-hmm.
I I've gotten pushback, but I'm not really sold on the Lions, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm not really sold on them. Right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think what gets highlighted is we see them destroy really bad teams, right? Like, they'll destroy
Mm-hmm.
bad teams, and that gets highlighted, right? And so the numbers are kind of skewed. Like, I expect you to beat those bad teams by a lot of points, right? Um,
Right.
but I think when you get to the playoffs, and I think when you have to play a solid defense, I I I don't think it's gonna look like that when they get to the playoffs. I Even watching them against Green Bay, realistically last night, that game could have went either way. It was kind of one of those things:
Yeah, it could
who
have.
has the ball last, right? Because we saw what Jacobs was able to do. He was able to run on
Yeah,
them all night last night. He had three
that's a fact.
touchdowns last night, and he was. I think in the third quarter alone, he was averaging 8 yards a carry in that third quarter. He had a really solid game against them. So when you get to the
Yeah,
playoffs
true.
and you play these better defenses, I don't think the Lions are going to look like what we see now. We saw on the opening drive that the Lions had came out, drove the ball right up the field, and then we
Mm-hmm.
saw Green Bay kind of make some adjustments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at halftime, it was kind of like I saw people like, oh yeah, Detroit's probably going to run away with it, and that wasn't the case. And in fact, in the third quarter, Green Bay came out firing on all the cylinders and took the lead, and it went back and
Yeah.
forth, right? And so, um, after watching that, what are your thoughts on Green Bay? What like after because I like for me, I'm just not sold that they are Super Bowl ready, and it's not to try to downplay them. It's not a hate thing. I am just of the
Mm-hmm.
belief. I think people are a little bit too hyped, and if I'm wrong, I'll come back and say I'm wrong. But I think people are a little bit too hyped, and I think they're gonna get humbled a little bit in the playoffs.
Well, as far as Detroit goes, I think they are. I just look at it from a standpoint that yeah, you seen Green Bay make some adjustments, but the thing about it is they still the way that Detroit plays, they put so much pressure on a defense. They put constant pressure on a defense. Like they don't even think about they cross the 50-yard line. They're not even thinking we're gonna kick field goals.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We are constantly if it's 4th and 2, they constantly going
going
for it.
for
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
constantly putting pressure on your defense, and you look at it and you be like, well, that could be stupid. Yeah, it can be, but when you got a team that's going straight 4 downs all the time, their chances of getting a 4th and 2, 4th and 1, slim to none. That sometimes, I mean, most of the time you don't get the 4th downs and you go for it, but most teams only go once or twice a game or something
Detroit goes
because
for it
they
all the time.
they yeah, Detroit runs with so much confidence in their offense, and that's the biggest thing about them. They're so confident that you're not going to stop them. You know what I'm saying? Defensively, they're banged up defensively. They kind of got some bang ups on defensive things, but I think because of their the way that they run their game, the way that their offense performs,
Hmm.
I mean, when you look at a game like with Jared Goff throwing freaking 4 or 5 picks in a game and they still win, bro, it's
Yeah,
like it's hard to sit and it wasn't like that was against the Texans, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, that was the Texans, and
Texans.
it's not
Yeah.
like Texans is a sorry team. Now, are they Super Bowl contenders this year? I don't see it. I see them being a playoff team, but I don't see them, making any headway in the Super Bowl. Could they? Yeah, they could. But when you see them, the way that Detroit, yeah, they're supposed to. That's the one thing that I do like about them is that when you play the teams that you're supposed to beat, you blow them out,
Yeah,
kill them.
yeah,
Give them no hope, blow them out. Make sure that they're because most teams play down to their level.
yeah. Oh
Easy
yeah.
game, we're gonna be lax. They don't ever stop, and that's one thing I like about
I know.
Detroit. That's the
Rams do
mentality
it
you
all the
gotta
time. Just
have.
play down.
It,
Yeah.
exactly. So, you know what I'm
Rams fans be
saying?
pretty
But
bad. Yeah.
I thought you was gonna say, the Rams, play hard all the time, but you the one that said play down. So hey, you know, I was caught in the moment. I was just caught up in the moment. But one thing about it, because they do not take any game off, and they're constantly trying to, Detroit goes out there like they're constantly trying to embarrass whoever they're playing, and that's the mentality you got to have when you actually are trying to make it to the Super Bowl. Your mentality be like, I don't care who's on this field. We're gonna play our game. We're gonna control the game the way that we want to control it. It can get out of hand, but we still confident enough that even if they were to make adjustments, they can't stop us. And that's how Detroit plays. And technically speaking, when you look at the game yesterday, you're like, yeah, Green Bay came out. If it wasn't for that, just think about it. If it wasn't for the interception that Goff threw, you be talking about a different ball game because Green Bay couldn't get Detroit off the field.
If it wasn't for that Green Bay fumble where
If
they
it,
were driving, Green Bay
this
fumbled
is the truth.
and they were driving.
This is
So we might,
this is the truth too. Now, this is the truth too. Now, so you talk about turnovers. Not
yeah,
every turnover. They say turnovers aren't created equal. Not every turnover is the same. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's always you could look at that and be like, yeah, if the Green Bay didn't do this, it's always that when it comes to turnovers, it's always that what if factor. But the fact of the matter is just that they they are so hard to beat because they're constantly putting their foot on the gas to kind of bring they're gonna run their team, their offense however they want to run it.
right.
You in order to beat Detroit, in order to really beat Detroit, you have to make them turn the ball over. You have to force turnovers. And they've been really good at not turning the ball over. But they've been really good even when they turn over, they can
I
go
think,
ahead and score
I,
the next time around. So I think they run with that mentality because they also do what teams that need to be a Super Bowl team do. They are very physical. That travels no matter who you playing at, wherever you're playing at. Physicality always travels, and that's the only way you're gonna be able to beat them is if you can match their physical nature, and that's what Green Bay did last night. In the first half, Detroit was having a way pretty much. Green Bay finally decided, hey, let's go ahead and turn up on these boys. You know what I'm saying?
and Green
Now,
Bay is a good team.
yes, they are very good, very
It's a
good,
good team.
very good. I wish they would use Reed a little bit more because he's on my fantasy team and he gave me no points last night. Had one
Zero.
target all the whole entire game.
One
You know what I'm saying? What
target.
kind of junk is that?
One target.
The week before you gonna give him almost all these plays. This week you throw the ball one. Yeah, man. Let me get off of that real quick. So,
Yeah.
but just looking at it from that standpoint, I think Green Bay is gonna be. I think Green Bay is in that same category because they are a very physical football team. They play very with a lot of physicality too. Like you said,
That
Josh
whole
Jacobs.
division, though. That whole division.
It's a brutal division. They looking like
Minnesota.
how our division used to look a couple of years
How
back.
the NFC West was a couple years back.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, so here's the thing, like going back to our division. I feel like our division, any team in our division can beat any team on any given Sunday. Like we
Most
actually have
definitely.
we actually have a really good division that just looks it doesn't look
It
good
looks
because we beat up on each other like
literally.
literally like our division like we just it's something about our division where like especially if even if you take like let's say like the last 10 years for sure, right? um it's
Hmm.
something about that division where it's like we just like it won't look great sometimes when you look at our record. It's because we beat the crap out of each other. Like it could go either way like
All the
that
time.
all the time, right? and
Yeah.
and and it's not been like you know like when you look at the Cowboys and then there's New York, right? It's the last few
Yeah.
years it's just been the Cowboys and Philly, right? And New York and
Yep.
Washington were
But
you
just a
know
thing of the past.
a thing of the past. But with the NFC West, it's been consistent. Well, you don't know who's gonna win it. Even when the records are great, you still
Hmm.
don't know who's gonna win it. Like it's still
Yeah.
one of those kind of divisions. So,
Yeah. When
you
you
know,
the only team that's been the weakest in our division has been the Cardinals over the last probably 10 years.
right. And
So
and
that's been
even
the
they haven't
weakest
been
team, and they aren't no
even
slouch
this
neither.
year,
You know.
yeah, even this year
Yeah.
they could go out and surprise you. One week they'll go
Yeah.
out and like beat the crap out of a team, and then the next week it's like they'll barely win and then they'll lose, right? In the last seconds or
Mhm.
something, right? So it's like
Mhm.
you never know what you're gonna get. This especially this year in particular, you just don't know what you're gonna get from our division. Like
Yeah.
quite honestly, like against Buffalo, generally, I'm a realist. So when I feel like there's um some confidence against a decent team, when the Rams play a decent team, I'll
Mm-hmm.
let you know like I ain't feeling too good. It's something about the matchup. I ain't feeling good, and that's just how I am. Yeah, I know
Mm-hmm.
people are always like you should always be confident in your team. I feel like we can go out and beat Buffalo this weekend. Like realistically, I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
at it. I'm looking at matchups, and I'm like, we could beat Buffalo this weekend. We're playing in LA. We could go beat Buffalo this weekend. I feel like that. Like,
Oh yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
always a possibility. It's
Yeah,
always a possibility
yeah.
because
Just
you're
just like
never
when
out
we
of it.
beat Minnesota. Like we were underdogs against
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota. We went out and did what we had to do.
Yeah,
Against Buffalo, yeah, we're underdogs, but I feel like we have
bro.
a chance to win that. I didn't feel good
I'm gonna be
against Philly.
honest with you. Yeah, some teams you just get a different type of vibe out of them.
Right,
Like to be honest with you, like realistically, I didn't think we was gonna beat Buffalo just for the basic fact that we had so many people injured.
right, right, right.
Then when you watch the game and when I was watching the game and I was watching how the first half played, our problem was for whatever reason in the snow, Kyle Shanahan wanted to kick field goals. You
I,
know, I already texted you about that.
yeah,
You know,
we
it's
talked
just
about
like,
it.
why are we doing this?
Yeah,
This is not inclement. This is bad weather.
yeah.
He's already not showing that he can kick field goals. Since he came back from his injury, he's been pretty bad with kicking
Right.
field
He's
goals.
he
So
showed
it's
that
just
he had,
like,
yeah,
yeah, until like if we would have kept pushing the ball on the ground, giving it to the running backs like we were, and of course, unfortunately, we had Christian McCaffrey go down, but Mason was doing good. He was
yeah,
running the ball. We were moving the football. The times and we just had bad things, fumbles. We
yeah,
started fumbling. We start
yeah.
turnover. Our season, like with our season, we've been killing ourselves with penalties, and unforced errors. So it's just like,
Right.
man, but
I
like you said, with our division has always been like you don't know if you just gonna go out here. You can be easily be like, oh, this is a win for like people outside of it. This is a win for us, and go out there and get beat by Arizona. Go out there and get beat by Seattle. Go out there and get beat by us, or go get beat by the Rams. And we beat them, messed up your whole entire year because of the fact that
Yep,
y'all come into the NFC West thinking it's easy, and it ain't
yep.
easy. It ain't
Thinking it's
never
sweet.
easy
Yep.
because yeah, our division has been always been one that's just been extremely physical in nature.
You know,
That's just how we play in
that's
that
just
in the
how.
NFC West.
And the thing is, the thing that's crazy about it is, like I feel like analysts understand that, which is why when you look at their picks earlier on in the season, like they always have a team from the NFC West to be dominant, right? Like always, every
Mhm.
year, like no matter
Mhm.
always, right? And it's simply
Mhm.
because that fact, because that division is just one of those divisions where don't like don't think about the record. You can come in here and think it's cool, but this ain't that, right? And
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, like whoever comes out of the NFC West can realistically, even though looking at the records, you'd be like, that's a bad division, right?
Mhm.
It's not like when the AFC South was like, or not AFC NFC South, when Atlanta, Tampa, Carolina, New Orleans,
Mhm.
when they were, it
Yeah.
ain't like that. It's who realistically, whoever comes out of the NFC West could potentially run the table. Like it's just that
It's
kind of
always a
like
possibility. Yeah.
yeah, it's just that kind
Yeah.
of division where we'll get there and be like, all right, time to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
just I just tell people don't sleep on the NFC West, and it ain't just because I'm a Ravens fan, baby.
I mean, the thing about it is, you can even look at who's
Super Bowl,
represented the NFC in the Super Bowl the most the last, let's just say, 6, 7 years, or even 10 years.
yeah,
Is a lot of NFC West representatives. It's been the
uh,
49ers. The Rams have won.
Rams,
49ers have gone two times.
yeah,
Then, like, you talking about,
Rams
like, back
gone
in
2 times in the last 10 years.
Rams
So
done gone
and
2 times. The
in the last
49ers done
10,
gone twice.
yeah, you know what I mean? And
So, you
Seattle,
talking like, Seattle. I think Seattle has been since
In the
2000
last
and
10,
in the
yeah,
last 10 years. I
in the
think it's
last 10,
Seattle,
yeah, it was 14, 15, wasn't it? Was it 14?
something like that.
Yeah. So
Hold on,
so
let me
you could,
look at that.
yeah, look at that, because you could potentially say in the last 10 years, the NFC West has been a representative of the Super Bowl half the time.
Yeah, I'm
When
about to
was that
look at
Seattle
this.
win?
So hold on. We had okay.
And even if not,
Seattle was in 2015.
right.
Seattle was in 2014. So you have Seattle twice. Then you had Carolina, Atlanta. Then you had Philly. Then you had the Rams. Then you had the 49ers. Then you had Tampa Bay. Then you had the Rams. Then you had Philly. Then you had the 49ers last year. So you're talking about the last 10 years, we had one, two, three, four, five, six of the last 10
It's been
Super
NFC West
Bowls.
team.
It's been NFC West representative.
Yeah. So
Six.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. The NFC West is that. I don't know why that got me so hyped.
Bruh, this is crazy. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. Because then if you look at it, go 11 years, 49ers was in 2013.
Yeah.
So you go, and then it goes past that. You got New York, then you got Green Bay, then you got Indianapolis, then you got Arizona,
Yeah.
then you got New York, then you got Chicago, then you got Seattle.
Yeah.
So it's just like you're going back further, and we are in there almost every other year. It almost
Yeah.
seems like
Exactly.
we're representative is the West,
Right.
you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's just how it go. You know what I'm saying? A little something ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? We just drink our tea over here.
Yeah. um. Now, switching gears a little bit. Did you see what the NBA wants to do to get people engaged? Have you seen this partnering with the NBA 2K thing? Have you
Mm-mm.
looked into that? You haven't
Mm-mm.
seen it.
No, have not.
Okay.
I have not.
All right.
It doesn't
So
sound like something that I want to be interested in. That's the problem right there.
obviously ratings are low for the NBA, right? So
Obviously.
let me find the article. Uh, Let me find the article. So basically, what they want to do to get people involved, they want to implement some of the things from the game into the real game. Basically, TNT Sports partnering with NBA 2K.
So what is this supposed to do? Is it supposed to
It's supposed to get
get?
people engaged, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay.
supposed to
Okay.
get yeah. It's supposed to get people. It's supposed to get people.
So let me get this straight. People already ain't watching the game.
Yeah.
So you want to do some things to implement interaction with people that aren't watching the game already.
Yeah.
I'm not watching. Like, only thing this ain't gonna help. It's not gonna help. It has nothing to do with fan interactions and all this other stuff. And a lot of people already are. 2K is actually on people's shit list to say, you know what I'm saying? If you really pay attention to the community or whatever, a lot of people already ain't on it. Did you
Yeah.
freeze up on me? Oh, there you go. No, you
No.
didn't freeze up. No, but a lot of people already is kind of like jumping ship on that 2K bandwagon. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it 100. I mean, it's going to always sell because it's the only NBA product out there. It's like Madden. Only one
Yeah.
that does
It's
simulation
gonna be
football, so it's going to always sell. So it makes the illusion that people are just going crazy on this game. Not
right.
really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been a big 2K fan for years. And I promise you, this is probably the least amount of 2K I've ever played in my
Yeah.
life. And so,
I'm gonna play later today, but I haven't been
I mean,
playing.
yeah, I'm gonna get back. I do other
I'm,
things to kind of get me engaged with playing the game. Like
yeah,
I'm like currently just making my own little fictional roster to play with my own character type joints. That's what I'm
good.
doing
Yeah,
now. I'm really not
right.
even playing the game, But uh, I don't see this working. Like I don't see all of this work. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the fan engagement up. They're trying to bring in more people to interact. Just the problem is the the game is lacking. And I'm not talking
There's
about 2K. NBA
yeah,
is
NBA.
lacking.
I
Is
think there's a
is
simple
really
solution.
lacking in what's
Bring
that?
back hand checking.
Oh, make it harder. Yeah.
Yes. Bring back
Yes.
hand checking.
Bring back
You
well yeah, what you really mean is bring back defense.
bring back defense. That's it. I
It's
believe
just like
bring back defense. Because look, so here's the thing, right? I saw something, and I don't know how long ago this was recorded, but I saw something where Kenny Smith um, was talking about uh, two-way players. And he was like, when I
mhm.
came into the league, we didn't call nobody a two-way player because every player you had to be able to play offense and you had to be able to play defense. You weren't a two-way
Yeah.
player. You were an NBA player. You
Yes.
know, so
You had to play ball. You just played ball. That's it.
we say two-way players so much now because the thing is there is really no defense. If you're a good defender, like there's very few great defenders in the league right now. Chris Paul is one of them. But you know why Chris Paul is one of them? Because he gets up in you and he does not care about the rules as much as the other people. He he wants to he's putting body on you, right? Those good
Yeah.
defenders, they're putting Drew Holiday, he's mastered getting up in you without but there's so many players
Fouling.
today,
Mhm.
there's so many players today that don't have that. And I think that what we have done as a league, well, what the league has done is you don't have to be a great defender to make it into the league. You like
Yep.
if you can shoot volume shots, that's all you got to be able to do, baby.
Mhm. Yeah.
Volume shots.
Because
And go
and
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just it's like you said, and I think that's the biggest mistake they've made. They wanted to make the game so easy offensively because they thought that's the viewership they want to see, just this high-powered offensive game.
Hmm.
But that's not a realistic thing. I don't want to see a team shoot 60 freaking three-pointers a game.
Yep.
I don't want to watch that, bro. That's boring. That is a boring game because now I'm watching some. I was watching just kind of get all same topic we were just talking about, but just a little. I was watching Gilbert Arenas'
Gilbert.
podcast. This thing, Gil Arenas.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I was watching them, and they was bringing up a stat about the top teams in the NBA right now. He was talking about they were talking about 3-point shooting and
Hmm.
how boring it is.
Yeah.
One of the teams was shooting 50 something, average 50 something threes a game. That's the top team in the
That's
NBA right now.
insane.
They shot like, and they was kind of referring to the All Star game too with the whole rule change thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you are shooting 50 something threes, and they were getting into analytics, but you're 18 for 50 something. Now I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I know 18 for 57 or 18 for 50 is not efficient
It's
shooting.
not efficient basketball. Bingo. Exactly.
You're not even shooting 50%. You're shooting literally in the 30s or 20s. With that kind of. So, what makes this whole three is worth more than two, so take a 3-point shot? That is the most stupidest thought process I've ever heard because it brings a boring brand of game. That catch and just throw it up. That's pretty much what I look at it. You
Yeah.
averaging 50 3-pointers a game, averaging 50.
Yeah.
So that means that you were playing games where you were shooting in the 60s, 70s, 50s, Some games you might have 40 to 30 or whatever, but you're averaging 53 pointers a game, bro.
Yeah.
And then the other funny stat that they brought up was the team in NBA league history that scored the highest points per game ever. I think they said it was the Denver Nuggets back in like 1980 something. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
They weren't shooting 3-pointers back then.
Shooting threes.
Matter of fact, I think the top 4 or 5 teams, and they were on. It's on the Gills Arenas podcast thing, but the top 5 highest scoring teams in league history, all were like 1980s and below. These are teams that are scoring. Now they gonna, of course, they gonna always say they're going against plumbers and all that stuff. Bro, so if this game is so much better than shooting threes than just 2-pointers or taking efficient shots,
right?
Why aren't they scoring the same amount of points?
Yeah.
As one of the top teams ever.
Teams,
the Showtime Lakers weren't bombing threes all day long.
Nope. And so here's the thing. I don't know who it was. I saw it on TikTok. And somebody said, well, the thing is, problem is, everybody thinks they're Curry now. Right?
Yep.
And
yep.
One thing that I could tell you is, yes, Curry does shoot a lot of threes. That's fair. But when he sees an open lane and he's being defended, he drives.
Yeah.
And
he's getting to the bucket.
He's efficient. He's regardless of the amount of threes he shoots, he is efficient, right? And Golden State is one of your top defensive teams in the league this year.
Yep.
So
this is facts.
The reality is the ratings are low. I would argue that most of the people that are going to sit and watch a basketball game on a Friday night or on a Saturday night or even on a Wednesday night are between the ages of me and you, our age group, between 40 and 60.
Yep.
Right? So you get anything younger than that, probably in your 30s, right? Anybody in the 20s on a Friday night, they're really not sitting. You're not getting a lot of numbers of them sitting and watching the game on Friday night. They're probably doing something else on a Friday night.
I would agree.
Families. We got families. We're not, you know what I mean? We sitting chilling watching the game. But the problem is,
literally,
what game did we grow up watching? So to us, you saying we're going to take defense away, ultimately, that's what you're saying. So you saying we're going to take defense away, and we're just going to have these players volume shooting. That's boring to us. Because I grew up watching a totally different game.
It's literally boring.
That's boring to us. I grew up watching something different.
Like for real.
So what happens is our age group is like, I ain't sitting there watching this. I'm going to find something else to watch on TV.
Click,
so we
turn it off.
You know what I mean?
Might watch college basketball if it's on.
I might watch college basketball if it's on. Or I'll watch college football if they'll have like some of the or I'll be honest with you. First, real quick, let me shout out Lampasas High School and Lampasas, Texas. I always represent for them. Even though I don't live out there no more, I always represent for them. Y'all made a good run. Y'all lost last week in the playoffs, but good run. Hell of a season. But I watch high school football on YouTube. I watch high school football on YouTube. And I've gone to a couple of high school football games this year, you know, just because I'm like, well, you know, I've gone to quite a few actually. But it's just simply because like I'm bored with the product that the NBA is putting up. And I sit and I try. And you know what it comes down to is there's been several games where at halftime I'm like, I can't do this. Like I can't. Like I want to, but I can't. But all they're doing is shooting threes.
Yeah,
You know,
it makes it very boring. It makes it extremely
the
boring.
product.
On top of that, though, I just now thought about it. On top of that, though, remember back in the day, we look at certain things, and when you look at the NBA now, and how many games are actually on TV from how many networks. So,
Yeah,
like for instance, you catch the game on Tuesday, that's TNT.
yeah,
Then Wednesday is ESPN. Thursday, it's most people are watching Thursday night football.
hmm
Friday, ESPN.
ESPN. Yep.
Then it's just like you can't really catch a game on Sunday because it's football season right now.
hmm
Eventually, they'll have a couple of games on ABC or something on Sunday. All right.
Yeah.
But do you remember back in the day, you used to be able to watch, and then they got them on NBA TV, which you have to have, you have to have cable or some kind of streaming thing to even see NBA TV. Otherwise, you
Right.
won't be watching it. But you remember back in the day, you used to be able to watch TNT on one day. ESPN might have a game. TBS used to have games. Like on a Wednesday or something like that. Then you got the ABC, you got the NBC. You had so many networks that were on local channels,
Yeah.
like or just regular like type channels that
Local.
if you had
Yeah.
cable,
The
you
what is
could
it?
just catch everything.
WGN. Yeah.
WGN and stuff like I used to catch the Bulls games,
Yeah.
and
On
we in
WGN.
Texas.
Yeah.
WEGN, we used to get that. Now I watch a Bulls game just out of random blue,
Yeah.
and but so many ways to watch it on just a basic local TV.
Yeah.
Now you gotta have League Pass. You gotta have, like I said, NBA TV. Otherwise, you're just watching ESPN or you're
Yeah.
watching TNT.
Right.
Once the football season's over with, then it starts going on ABC.
Right.
And a couple of games and it's just like so weird because even when football ends, I don't find myself Sunday tuning into watch an NBA game anymore, like I
Yeah.
used to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I almost forget that they're even on TV half the
hmm
time. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like you said, we talked about Christmas. Christmas literally used to be flooded all day, which it still
It
is. Of
still
course,
is, but
NFL's trying to get a little bit of that
not the
Christmas
same impact.
viewership,
Yeah.
but it's not the same impact. The games aren't as competitive. It's almost like they don't care anymore. But it goes back to the style of play.
Right.
And of course that's just us. Our mentality is, we want to see. I want to see a good game. I don't want to watch players go out there and just shoot 50 11 3-pointers or not play any defense, or I'm watching the game and it's 150 to 100 or 129 to 100. It's like the
Yeah.
blowouts are just kind of weird.
hmm
It's like, where is the competitive nature at, dog?
Right.
You know, I used to love the 105, 103. You
hmm
know what I'm saying? Those type that to me that was great. That was good offense, and
That
they
was good.
had great defense during that game.
Right. Right.
When you sitting there, like even if they had low numbers in the 105, I don't want to see teams like if one team just happens to be scoring like crazy, and that's just the one anomaly. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey,
Right.
they
Right.
just, you know what I'm saying. But when the whole league is averaging like 110 points a game
Yeah.
or something like that,
There is.
bro,
It's
you know
yeah.
what? Or when you watching the game and you just like I was briefly watching it, but your boys the other day going up against who did they play? I think the
Oh.
Timberwolves.
Yeah.
The Lakers played the Timberwolves, and the game was like 119 to 80 something.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there watching that. I watched that game, and I look up in the corner, and I'm looking at the other games. There was another game that was like 129 to 105, or teams getting blown out by 41 points, 30 something points.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't have watched none of these games on TV. That's not even. No, there was
Yeah.
Miami they was
It's
playing. Miami. They was
yeah.
playing Miami.
The Clippers had got blowed out by Minnesota. It was the Clippers that had got blowed out.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so out of all the games that came on that we could have watched, if you have league pass or anything,
Yeah.
I think it was only one game that was like literally somewhat
Yeah.
close. But
Yeah.
everything else, you lit like 20 points 30 points, 41 points. Like, bro, where is y'all
And
pride at?
it's not. I mean, there was blowouts then too, but there was like the blowout was like 92-79, right? So
Yeah,
that looks bad on paper, but yeah, you know what I
but
mean?
and then when you really looked at those stats, the blowouts were a little bit different
Yeah,
because it wasn't like one team just was exploding offensively. They played better brand of defense and they were
yeah,
shutting you down from scoring as opposed to you just ain't making buckets and the other team just making buckets, and that's what it looks like. It's just like I'm watching the game and it's just like this team is just shooting all over y'all. Y'all ain't even made an adjustment to even try to, like Tyler Hero's
th-
7 3-pointers in a quarter.
right. There's
And then
there.
when you look at the
It's
replay,
crazy.
it's like, where was the defense
Where was the
at? Like,
defense at?
I,
Exactly.
I'm watching that everybody's neighborhood greatness, not even play defense on, not even get back on defense. Shot a
Right.
3-pointer, missed a 3-pointer. LeBron, what he didn't even cross half court before Miami went down there and scored a bucket, a layup.
Yeah.
You shot the three.
Yeah.
So why
Why
aren't you even getting back on
get
defense?
back? Yeah.
Everybody is just playing lackluster, no effort defense.
No transition.
Why am I watching? I don't
No.
want to
Yeah.
watch this.
So
So that's
so
NBA's problem.
and that's the thing, right? So there's a handful of teams currently that I sit and watch. Uh, I
Same.
sit I sit and watch OKC. Um,
Yeah, it's a good one.
I sit now. I'm gonna tell you why I sit and watch Dallas, and it's not so much because of their defense. It's because I feel like they have a true center. I love centers. I love that position, and I love
hmm
what's his name, Lively, the young kid Lively from Duke.
Lively. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
pretty good.
that
Yeah, he's
plays
pretty good. I
for the
like him. He like.
Mavericks. I like to
hmm
watch him play, right? So I will sit and watch
hmm
Dallas, and I'm usually watching him. Um, I watch San Antonio now that they have Chris Paul. Um, I've been watching a little bit more Golden State this year because their defense has gotten better, and I
Yeah.
kind of been watching because I'm like, well, where is their groove without Clay, right? Without the splash
Right.
brothers.
Right.
Um, but and of course I watch my Lakers play, but that's a whole nother. Coaching didn't matter. That's all
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
that's a
Coaching didn't matter.
yeah,
So
bro. Was talk about that on Twitter the other day.
coaching
It's
didn't
just
matter.
like
It
there's
matters.
no way you could there's no way that you could change out the coach, but your team still be in the same position every single year. So is it a coaching fault? Is it a
At
coaching
some
issue or
point
is it a
we
team
got to look at the front
construction?
office. At some point we got to look at the front office. It's bigger than the coach.
Yep.
It's bigger than the coach.
Your team construction. Yep. hmm
Team construction. I said this.
Yep.
I said it in the off season. I said that. I said
It's
that.
obvious though, bro. It's
Oh,
obvious. It's always been obvious. Those that know basketball know that this was obvious. It was never coaching. It was
right.
never coaching. You
And
watch it.
I was
There's
critical
no
of
way in the
JJ
world you
Redick.
can have 3 or 4 different coaches.
Yeah. In the
Yeah,
same
I mean as you
you're getting
should.
the
He
same
ain't got
product.
he don't have no real coaching experience, but same
Yeah.
exact product.
And
It's
I
players
gave him
on the
some
court.
praise.
It's
I gave him some
lack.
praise.
It's lack of. It's lack of motivation. They don't have no motivation, bro, to play out there to play.
None.
LeBron's going through the motion. AD, he's in a weird slump right now, like he does the last few years. He goes on this. You show like you should be the most dominant big man in the game, and then all of a sudden,
Oh,
you can't even show up. You can't show up. You don't
right.
even. You won't even try to make the easiest buckets.
Yeah.
It's not. It has nothing to do with the coach. It has everything to do with your
I've
players
been wanting to get
and
rid
the
of
players. Yeah, he needs to go. Like I mean, LeBron
Let's
needs to
shut
go
it
too.
down.
But
Whoa, I said that too. All of that. All
I
of
think,
that.
bro, right now I think he playing for stats, bro. I don't think he's even
That
playing for a championship. It seems like you
bingo.
just playing for
He's just trying to
stats
get the
now.
numbers up.
Yeah,
Just trying to get his
like
numbers.
because there's no way from what I've seen, what I have visually seen. It's not hating. Watch the Miami Laker game. Just watch the one that recently went by. The man don't get back on defense. He don't play defense. Nobody's talking. Nobody's doing anything. Like all the
Oh,
energy in the beginning, they had all this energy in the beginning. Now it's starting to get kind of towards the holiday time and
everybody just chilling.
no enthusiasm. Only
No,
people that's out there trying to play is them young boys.
yep,
They trying to, you know what I'm
trying.
saying, but you have no real
Hey,
leadership out there.
shout
There's no
shout
real
out to
leadership on
Connect.
that court.
Shout out to Connect.
Yeah,
He out there. He trying.
that boy playing. He trying
Hey,
to play.
hey, Lakers. Hey, Lakers front office. I'm yelling at you. You need to do something to get Trae Young. Put Trae Young and Connect together.
Hey, you know the funny part is, guess what? We was talking about Atlanta. Them boys balling right now.
Yeah,
Atlanta balling right now, bro. Them boys has
yeah.
picked up their game. They balling
They
right now.
picked it up. They picked it up. Heavy,
So,
heavy.
so it to be it is they need to disband that Lakers squad, and
Yeah,
you
that's
need to stop. So you need to start with somebody at the very top.
yep.
Either LeBron or AD has to go.
You think
I'm just keeping it 100. I'm
look,
keeping it a buck. Either
I
LeBron or AD has to go. They have to trade one of those players away. They're not going to trade LeBron, so I guess it's going to have to be AD. One of them two
I
needs to
agree.
go because what they need is they need to get core pieces from one of those two that's going to connect with the roster. They don't
They're
need
just waiting for
superstars.
LeBron to retire. LeBron's gone after this year, bro.
I
He's
hope so.
retiring.
Not.
And it's
I
and
mean,
not in a negative way.
it's time to
Not in a
hang it up.
negative
Yeah,
way.
it's time to hang
It's
it up.
like
When
Rez.
when you literally won't play on both sides of the ball and you just reserving your energy for offense, it's time to hang it up. That means
Yes,
you're not into it no more. What's all that money going to for
yes,
your body if you ain't even going to utilize it? See,
yes.
this is the
Exactly.
separation of GOAT status. There is not one time where you could sit there and say Michael Jordan was slacking on defense at any point in
Ever,
his career.
ever.
Even on the Wizards, he didn't slack on defense.
Nope.
But guess what? You
Always.
can't say the same thing about LeBron.
Yeah.
You
And
can't
look,
say the same
and
thing
I
about him.
and I hate to look. I hate to make it seem like it's a trash and LeBron thing because it's not. But man, it's time to chill out. It's
Yeah,
time to
it's
be
just
done, man.
literally. It's like literally for. So I would just suppose anybody that want to sit there and say we trashing LeBron or anything like that, because I'm
Oh
not even
yeah.
just gonna blame LeBron. AD is also not playing defense.
Yeah. Like
Something is
that.
not right defensively. Something's not right with your leadership. And usually your leaders are your top star players.
Yep.
LeBron supposed to be the leader.
Yep.
This is who everybody rallies for. So somewhere he's not impacting his locker room the same
And
way. He's
and
not
look,
inspiring them boys to play.
I I gave JJ Redick some praise. JJ wants to win. I feel like he in their
Oh
face. I
yeah.
feel like he trying to push them. I feel like he's saying all the right things at these press conferences. But it's
Oh,
only so
JJ want
much
to win.
yeah, he wants to win, and it's only
Yeah.
so much he can do. I feel like he's super passionate about this. This ain't a project thing for him. This ain't a get my foot in the door. JJ wants to win right now.
Hmm.
But
I agree.
if you don't have that same passion on the court, and we could blame JJ Redick for that. I'm not going to blame JJ Redick for that. I ain't
He
even
can't.
really going. I'm not even really going to blame LeBron. Only thing I blame LeBron for right now is still being out there and not hanging
Well,
it up. Look,
well, see,
look, we
I put more. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
we know LeBron is great in his own right,
Hmm.
but also, man, there's a time, where it's time, because I feel like honestly, regardless of what LeBron says, I feel like he is kind of mentally checked out. He's already looking on to the next thing after basketball.
I feel like it too. I feel like it too.
Yeah,
That's
hang
why I
on
say.
after this
That's
year.
why I feel like it is not just it's not because he can't play anymore. We know he can play, but the problem is though, it's like I don't blame JJ. He does the best that he can try to do. Coaches can only coach. Players play the game.
Right.
I can't tell you to. I can yell at you all day long for you to hustle and get back on defense or whatever. But if you ain't gonna do it, that ain't my fault. You just want to be stubborn and hard headed.
Right.
This is why I say I blame people like I do put more blame on people like LeBron. Lead by example.
Yeah.
We know you're probably tired. You've been in for 21 years, but guess what? If you're tired, like you said, time for you to hang up them shoes.
Yeah.
You did what you were supposed to do. You done got on the floor. You done got on the floor with your son in one game. Yep. You know what I'm saying? He's in the league. Now. Hey, it's time to just go ahead and take them sneakers and go on hang them up. Because when you are no longer giving effort on both sides of the ball for 48 minutes or however long you're playing, this means that you done checked out. With him, you seem to be in tip-top shape. Yeah, you're probably going to be tired because you're 40. Look, I'm 40 years old, dude. But I ain't no star athlete. But I'm 40 years old, so I don't have the same type of I have mileage on me just from being 40. Yeah. But I don't have athletic mileage on me.
Right.
Bro, I'm already hurt, back get thrown out, hurting just for doing basic, regular stuff around the house. I get mentally burnt out. I get tired. Like, I don't want to get up and go to work today. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, hey, we know. You've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Guess what? Retire. It's time to just go ahead and put it up. You don't have it anymore. You don't have it mentally anymore.
You're in a position to do that. Retire, man.
Yeah.
Retire.
Exactly. And that's why I say I kind of blame him. I kind of blame AD, not just LeBron, but AD too. Y'all are the veterans on this team. Most of your roster is full of younger talent. Mm-hmm. Y'all are the vets. Y'all are the superstars. What you think is going to happen when everybody's on the court and they see you lacking defensively, you slacking here, you walking back on defense, you ain't giving effort on this play, you ain't giving effort on that play. Me as a person, well, he don't care. Why should I?
Because D'Lo
he makes all this money. He don't care.
D'Lo already been doing that. He's been inconsistent, and I hate to trash D'Lo, but he's been inconsistent.
This is facts.
This is what he does, right?
This is facts.
And let's get him up out of there. We got a young star in Connect. I think Connect's going to be a star. All right.
I think he's going to be pretty good.
Right. We have some pieces. I think we need to do something with the backcourt, and just get younger, man, and start to rebuild. Like. Without LeBron. Let's rebuild without LeBron.
Be smart.
And
better get you something. And the other problem with the Lakers, though, with the reason why they can't do a lot of roster moves is because you've been paid too many people so much money.
Yeah.
LeBron's getting paid enormous amount of money. AD's contract is pretty huge. You just re-signed D'Lo. Yeah. Your money's tied up where you can't make any moves. You can't do this. You can't do that. And see, this is my other problem is with your front office is the fact that, or Jeannie Buss or whoever you want to call it, y'all kiss LeBron's ass too much.
I know that.
When is somebody in the front office gonna say, nah, you either gonna sign X amount of years or you can go find work somewhere else. Because right now, right now, the way I look at it is, when's the last time y'all went to the finals with this roster? That was in the COVID season.
2020.
Y'all went back to the Western Conference Finals, but heck, you got rid of that coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But y'all ain't been better ever since. Y'all been kind of like how my Bulls have been. You've been a play-in team. Just looking to try to do something.
Yeah.
we don't even have the same time. And even for my Bulls, I'm sitting here saying we need to probably get rid of Zach LaVine or somebody. We need to make roster moves.
Yeah.
It's not coaching, it's the roster. We need to make some roster moves to make us better. The Lakers need to go ahead. It's like somebody needs to sit there and get enough goals to sit there and be like, no, we're not going to re-sign you for this one-on-one deal every year. You're either going to commit to the team or you're not. That's how they should do. And if you don't want to, well, let them go. Because guess what? We ain't won with you since forever. We ain't winning. And obviously something's not right. So if I got 2-2, for me 2-2 make 4. It adds together. So if I got LeBron, AD for the last 4 or 5 years, and we have not improved anywhere, one of those two got to go. It's not like you're Boston where you picked up 2 people out of a draft and they've been growing as a 2 together for all these years and they got better. Like Boston's gotten better and better and better and better and better.
Every day it's elevated.
LA has had the same 2 people for years and they have gone and then just flat lines. And you want to blame coaching.
Well,
or Russell Westbrook.
I will say this. Hopefully, after this season, it turns into destroy and rebuild. I'd rather see us rebuilding from a destroyed team versus what I'm seeing right now.
Get you some draft picks. I know who you can get.
Maybe they prove us wrong at the end of the season and they go on a nice little run and. Who knows, right? But right now,
I mean, that's you're a Laker fan, so that means you trying to hope for the Lakers to win a championship out here. I ain't on that. I don't want to see y'all succeed.
Speaking of that, doesn't Zach LaVine lead all Bulls players in history for threes made? Did you see
Probably.
That? Yeah, how you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't care.
You still got to get rid of them. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, well, you look at it from this standpoint. Who have we ever had for long enough to shoot threes all day long? Anyway, for the Bulls.
That's true. I just saw.
So what? Who? So it's like who? So I'm sitting there thinking. So I'm thinking to myself, who was the leader? Steve Kerr?
No, who was the leader? Let's look.
B.J. Armstrong. I mean,
no, it wasn't.
These are the 3-point. These are the 3-point shooters that I know we had back in those days, unless it was prior to my time. Kyle Korver. I don't know. Who was the leader? I don't even know.
Chicago Bulls 3-point leaders. Let's look it up. 3-point leaders. Chicago Bulls 3-point leaders historically, because it's current in history. That's in history. Is Kirk Heinrich.
Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah, so Zach LaVine with 1,000.
And we had him for
And then Kirk Heinrich with 1,049.
Okay. So think about this. Let's look at something real quick, because we live in a whole different era from when Kirk Heinrich. And he ain't been that long removed, but
he ain't been. Ben Gordon number 4.
So, Ben Gordon probably was the one that shot maybe the most that we've had in a while. Of course, Kurt Heinrich, but we had Kurt Heinrich for like 7 years or something like that. Let me look him up real quick. I just want to see something here. And this goes back to 2004 is when we had Kurt Heinrich. So we're talking about a guy that averaged 3.6 3-pointers in his career. And he played with the Bulls 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of his 13 years in the NBA.
11, yeah. So,
Let that sink in.
yeah.
He's played 11 years.
It's just not saying much.
Averaging all like almost exactly.
It's just not saying.
We had Levine for like the last 4 years.
Yeah. It's just not saying.
So imagine, it's not saying much, but it's saying a lot. That goes to show the difference in the NBA that we've done had over the last few years. Zach LaVine, let me look this up real quick because this is insane right now. And the sad part is LaVine's been injured.
Yeah, that too.
So we've had Zach LaVine in Chicago for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dang, it's been 8 years since he's been in Chicago? Oh, wow. Even I didn't know he'd been playing for us for 8 years.
I ain't either. Sheesh.
Yeah, but he's averaging 8 out of 11 years. So most of his years been with Chicago. But he averages 5.9 3-pointers a game.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize he shot that many. But, again, very telling. That's what you said.
Yes.
It says a lot.
Yes.
Without saying a lot.
Yeah. It says a whole bunch,
Yeah, it does.
To me, it's just like I'm looking at it as that's that problem with the NBA.
Yeah.
Why are you shooting 6 3-pointers a game?
Yeah.
At least 6. And he's not efficient.
He's not.
He's literally.
Well, so that's the thing.
Well, he's pretty good. He's pretty good over his career. He's 38% over the year over career.
That's
not
not
bad.
terrible.
It's not bad.
Terrible.
It's almost 40. You're about average. You're about a little bit slightly above league average. This year he's shooting 42%. So that's actually telling. Yeah, much better. But he is he's actually pretty efficient this year. Yeah, I mean,
what else?
Watch out, man.
Yeah, what else are y'all gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Like, I know what we can do. Yeah, man, whatever, man. We sure enough can't do that. We picked up a guy that's supposed to do all that. I mean, but to me, it's just like, I mean, we still in the same spot as we've been the last few years. I told you, it's not a coaching problem; it's a roster issue. So we need to go ahead and get rid of either LaVine or Vucevic. Go ahead, get you some draft stock.
Yep.
And rebuild.
That for picks.
Rebuild. Just trying to rebuild.
For picks.
I mean, are we terrible? Yeah. Are we super terrible? No. We could be competitive. We're definitely competitive in games, but yeah. But yeah, that 3-point all-time Bulls leader thing doesn't really impress me much. I mean, you just shoot more 3-pointers. It's like you shoot more 3-pointers. I expect you to hit more 3-pointers if you shoot more. I mean, it's kind of like real quick, and this is the thing that killed me. And I pointed this out one time. I was on Twitter one time, and somebody posted this weird meme. It talked about when Dalton Connect hit, what was it, like 6 or something 3-pointers in a game or something like that earlier this year. Then they compared it to one of Michael Jordan's games where he was like, he shot like maybe that amount of 3-pointers in a year or something like that. Whatever. It was some weird thing to where they were trying to say Dalton Connect's rookie year is better than Jordan.
Oh yeah.
So and people always talk about Jordan can't shoot this, and Jordan didn't take threes. Yeah, and they talk about like LeBron and how he's got this little all this stuff like this. So I pointed out something that was actually eye opening to me. In the years that Michael Jordan took in a season, a league at about 3-pointers in a game, which is only about 4 or 5. Like 3 or 4 years or something like that. Maybe 5.
Yeah.
1 year was like really close. He was an average 3-point shooter.
Right.
Like everybody was looking at his stats and they saying, "Oh, he was shooting like 21%, 18%." These are on years where he only was averaging maybe 1 3-pointer a game, something like that. Of course, you know
Right.
how it works. The less you shoot, if you miss, your numbers are gonna
The,
look bad,
your
right?
number is gonna exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if he made those 1 or 2, 4 or 5 3-pointers he took all year, if he made them, then his numbers will look like he's an outstanding 3-point shooter. But if you compare his
Exactly.
numbers to what the league average is now, which is like 38% or something like that, I'm gonna read these out real quick. And I know we probably coming up close to
Oh
the end. We got some things
yeah,
to do, but
yeah,
it's Friday. If you want to go longer, we can. It's up to you. But I'm gonna pull this out right here real quick, and this just was just eye opening to me. So let me read these numbers real quick. In 19, see here, 1989-1990 season, he averaged 3 3-pointers a game. He
that
shot
was
37%.
that's
That
yeah,
was
that's
his. Yeah, that's about average, right?
right.
About,
Yeah,
about average. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Then another year, he shot 2.9 3-pointers a game. This was in 1992-93. He
Okay,
shot 35% from three.
okay,
35% is about average, right?
right.
Then you go down again. The next season that he averaged a lot, so 95-96. That's when he averaged 3.2 3-pointers a game.
Per game.
He
Okay,
shot 42%.
right. So
Let
why
that
aren't they
sink in.
using
He
that?
shot 42%.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The
42%.
next the next
Above the league
42%.
average. Above the league average.
And he shot 3.2 threes a game.
Right.
96-97 season, he shot 3.6 3-pointers a game. He averaged 37%.
Okay.
Right.
League average.
Any other season, he's literally averaged maybe 1.5 threes. Sometimes he's less than a three a game or whatever.
What is
That's where
his
people get these
career?
bad 3-point shooters. Three
What is
points,
his career
32%
average? Okay, that's
for
like,
three
come
points,
on.
thirty-two
For,
percent.
yeah. For somebody that
But
didn't shoot a lot of them.
context matters.
Yeah,
This
it
is what I
does.
was saying. Context matters. When I posted this about
Every
it, it
of
was just
anything you
basically
gotta know
saying
more.
that. Basically, what I'm saying is that when Jordan wanted to shoot the 3-point shot, he was at least average. Those numbers are comparable to people like LeBron shooting 3 to 4 a game now. So
Right.
imagine if he shot the same amount of 3-point shots. He would be averaging about 30 something percent. 38,
Right.
37 something percent like that from 3-point range. So this narrative about Jordan couldn't shoot threes is complete BS. And this is not just, it would be a different story if I said, oh, one season. This is like 4 or 5 seasons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then another thing that hit me and dawned on me, on the years where he had the highest 3-point shooting averages that he had, well, not really. So the year of 89, the 89-90 season where he was averaging 37%. And then the 92-93 season, he was averaging 35%. This is where he's shooting almost 3 threes a game, right?
Right.
The other thing that dawned on me, those were during the years where the 3-point line was a lot longer, was
Oh
further
yeah.
back.
Oh
You
yeah,
remember
yeah,
they
yeah.
moved the 3-point line
They
up.
moved it.
I don't
Yeah.
remember them ever saying that the 3-point line has ever been moved back.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
I wonder. That makes me wonder. Have they moved the 3-point line back?
Let's see.
I don't think they have.
Let's see. Look, I will say this. When Michael, I'll say this. Michael Jordan's peers all say that he was the most complete basketball player in NBA history. And I'll just say that. His peers say that, not him. His peers. So that's what I'll tell. I'll leave people with that.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to me. It just goes to show that if he wanted to do it, he could do it.
Yeah.
This whole narrative about, it blows my mind when people, context matters. You see what I'm saying? Context matters. When we sit here talk about like how we talked about like 3-point shooting and or how LeBron they come out with, and I'm not LeBron hating. I'm just saying this is what people say.
Yeah.
When they come out with these stats, LeBron was the quickest to make, whenever it came down to him beating Kareem's record. He beat him by a few games faster, right?
Yeah.
But we talked about this before. LeBron had a 3-point shot to his ability. Kareem didn't.
Yeah.
So naturally, 2 is more than 3. If you shoot more threes,
balance it out. Yeah.
Balance it out. You know what I'm saying? If you're shooting more threes, then of course you're gonna probably get there quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mathematically it makes sense that you're gonna get there quicker than somebody that's never shot threes in his life.
Exactly.
It's just crazy. Context matters. But they'll tell you that he's the greatest and the fastest to do things, but it's just like, well, they'll sit there and be like, well, this person's the fastest to get to this point and this point in their career.
Right.
Okay, well, if you didn't go to college and you was coming out of high school,
right. Yeah, because
theoretically, you're going to be the quickest to do certain things, right?
Jordan went to North Carolina. He went to college.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
So it's just like theoretically you're going to get things quicker if you have a longer career. That's why longevity stats are really hard to use in GOAT debates to me.
Yeah.
Because, or any debate when you're trying to debate two different numbers, because if you got somebody that's going 20-something years, the other one's going only 13 or 14 years, and then you're trying to compare longevity stats to somebody that ain't been in the league that long, it's not fair. It's not a fair comparison. That's like apples to oranges.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
If I'm going to try to compare somebody that shoot the ball, like that'd be like me comparing Steph Curry's 3-point numbers to, somebody that didn't shoot the 3 very much, like a Larry Bird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Larry Bird shot the 3, but that wasn't what they were doing back then.
He could, but that just wasn't the game. It was, I'm going to hit you with that baseline 17 foot, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm gonna get right here at the right here at the top at the top, I'm gonna come in through the middle. I'm in the paint. I'm gonna hit you with one of these. You know what I mean? Like it's just what it was then.
And like Larry said, I heard an interview where Larry literally said basically is that he never practiced 3-point shooting. They practice it nowadays and stuff. He said they never practiced. He said the only time he practiced 3-point shooting, the first time he did was when he was in the NBA 3-point contest. That's the only time he said he's ever in his life practiced 3-point shooting. He just happened to have the range.
Right, exactly.
Different ball game, bro. Different ball game.
Well, I gotta go get stuff for dinner, but as always,
we gotta say the for next time then.
Yeah,
we got on the rant. We didn't get on the rant.
We
My
got
bad.
On the rant. Hey, I'm gonna say this to close it out. Jordan's peers say he's the greatest, not him. And I'm gonna just leave it with that. And when people that play with him, I ain't talking about people that are 20 years old that watch YouTube videos. I ain't talking about people that are 25 years old that watch YouTube videos. I ain't talking about people that played with him. Talking about people that played with LeBron too, that played with both of them. Say that Jordan is the greatest. Yeah, you have a handful that say it's LeBron, but most of them tell you that is Jordan. So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
And I'm gonna leave with one more thing.
Okay.
If you ever have to say that you're the greatest, you're probably not.
Bingo.
Have you ever heard Michael Jordan ever say it?
Nope.
Or Kobe.
Nope.
But guess who I have heard say that he makes him the greatest? I'm just gonna leave it right there.
We're just gonna leave it right there.
Validation by your peers, man.
Validation by your peers. All right, as always, I appreciate you joining me. Thanks for everybody that listens
Yes,
to the
sir.
podcast. And we'll see you back
Yo,
next week. Hey, next
next
week,
week,
live event, Thursday. All right.
49ers,
49ers,
Rams, live,
Rams.
podcasting. We own
Oh,
it.
yeah. All right.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace.